Active FM. Radio has never been better.
What is up?
Hey, how you doing?
This is the movie show
On your favorite RSPS?
Active FM.
And we never get tired of saying this.
We get tired of saying what?
We never get tired of saying this.
Never. We only say it once a week though.
Or once a year.
What? Wow, that's hectic. That means we've been like recording for the past like 100 years.
You never know.
You never know. I'm Sash.
My name's Ryan.
And we are 183 years. No, I'm joking. So, today we are reviewing a Christian film.
The Jesus Revolution.
Jesus Revolution 2023 action. It's not an action thriller. I'm lying. Sorry. That was
I missed the thriller part. I must say the one part, where everyone was leaving, that was kind of, I was almost like,
Can I tell you something funny? So that was from last week, right? Because I have like a template and then I'll just go like fill in the information that I want to put in. But when I searched this film, they didn't give the genre. So that's why I just clicked. I was like, oh, flip, the action thriller is still there because that was...
new genre.
That was Extraction 2. No, that wasn't Extraction 2. What movie did we do last week? Oh my goodness.
Yes, Extraction 2.
Are you sure?
No,
Tetris.
Yes.
Tetris. It was Tetris.
Great film.
Yes, there we go. So this is not an action thriller, but it's got lots of action and it's thrilling to watch. So in a way, it's an action thriller.
Yeah.
Yes. It's 2 hours long on the dot, apparently.
There's always, whenever you say the word thriller, I always have this like violent sound. I don't know why. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm sure you can hear it.
I'll probably hear it from now on. Mm-hmm.
Great film.
Very good film.
Very great film.
Very, very good film.
I went to bed smiling.
I'm going to say this out loud. I cried my whole way through this movie.
Yeah.
I woke up with puffy eyes the next day because that's what happens when I cry at night. Yeah. I woke up with this movie got puffy eyed, checked.
This movie started off and I was like, okay, everything's going so well. It's going a bit too well. And then it got to a part where stuff started happening. I was like, that's more like it. Real life.
Because it is based on a true story. Yeah. That's
real
the
life drama.
Part.
That's the genre.
Actually, it's probably
real life drama. So this is a true story, guys.
True story. Mm-hmm.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
Love it.
So the directors, there were two directors. Number one is John Owen. Number two is Brent McCorkle.
Apparently, the first director's name you
John
mentioned,
Owen.
He's had like some top directors, 5. What did they call it? It was this like directors nominate, but it's like at the level at Spielberg.
Yeah. No, actually,
that's crazy.
Talking about this movie, right?
That's cool.
There's one actor in this film that acted in. Do you remember that movie Super 8?
Yeah.
Who was J.J. Abrams? And I think I stand to be corrected, but didn't Steven Spielberg produce it?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the actors in this film was in that movie. So talking about
which one?
Spielberg, I'll tell you.
Oh.
Okay, listen till after the director.
After the beep.
Beep. Okay, so the director, right? James Owen specifically. So he directed Jesus Revolution. He also directed a film called The Jesus Music, which was a 2021 film. So I don't know if... I saw something about this and I don't know if it's linked to Jesus Revolution. I'm not sure, but yeah. Then there's one called American Underdog. I haven't watched that. I still believe I did watch. That was about that Christian musician whose wife, I think she got cancer and then she dies. And then at the end of the film, it's a true life story based on his life as well. He sings the song I Still Believe. Also very, very, very good film. Then I Can Only Imagine. That rings a bell, Ryan. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, we know that one.
What is that about?
It does ring a bell.
And then also Mum's Night Out. I don't know if you remember that movie. It was like a whole bunch of moms that decide, you know what, we're going to have a night out. And they go out and everything that could possibly go wrong on that night goes wrong. They land up in prison.
I remember that.
Yeah, he also directed that film. And then the other director is Brent McCorkle. Now, interestingly enough, this guy has a lot of music credits to his name. So he's only got 4 director credits, which is Jesus Revolution. Then he directed BB Quest, which is a TV series, Unconditional, and The Rift. But that was a short. That wasn't even a film. But that is it. That's the only things he's directed. The other stuff that he's done is more music and yeah. But very, very good film. It's by no means was it. You know how you get those typical Christian films?
It was very unexpected for me.
Really?
And let me be honest, I thought it was going to be a typical Christian film. I was almost like, this might be very bad, but I'm being honest, okay?
That's okay, right?
I'm sharing my
no
heart
judging here.
But I was like, I'm not really in the mood for these kind of films, you know? And then I started watching it, I'm like, wait, this is actually good. When you said it, it's the guy that plays as Jesus. I thought it was from the Passion of the Christ, Jesus.
Oh, Jim Caviezel.
Then the minute I saw this guy, I was like, it's the guy.
From The
It's
Chosen.
the guy. Yeah. Then,
His name is Jonathan Rumi. In case you don't know who he is, he plays Jesus in The Chosen, and he's in this movie.
that was so awesome.
But this is the crazy part, is the actors in this film shocked me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. So Jonathan Rumi didn't shock me. It was interesting to see him I think he did a very good role, because in this one he plays a guy named Lonnie Frisbee.
Well, he had the hair and the beard and everything for it. He was perfect.
So this guy, Lonnie, is he died in 1993, and he was very, very instrumental in starting the whole, because this is an actual revolution that took place. If you know the term one-way Jesus, then it started in this revolution. If you know the term Jesus freak, it started in this revolution. And a lot of the high profiles in the Christian world today were probably alive or impacted in some way by this movement, because it was huge. So while the whole hippie movement was happening in the 1960s and 70s in America, this very movement was also happening. But obviously it gets shunned down by the world, which makes sense because it would be shunned down by the world.
Yeah.
But the actor shocked me. So he did a very good job in playing he literally had to play like this hippie that got saved. And I actually did some reading on this Lonnie Frisbee guy, because I was shocked to see that he died before Chuck Smith, who was the pastor that took him like under his wing, because Chuck was so much older than him. And I was like, why did he die? And his life was quite interesting. He didn't have a good upbringing. He was, I think, raped at the age of 8. He left home early, didn't get a very good education. I don't think he could read or write very well. He got introduced into drugs. He was an artist though. He loved drawing. And he basically got converted in a very unconventional way type of thing. And then I think he did battle with homosexuality. And that was one of the reasons that they kind of took church leadership away from him. But I know that at his funeral, someone actually got up and spoke and related him to Samson and said he was an amazing figure. But unfortunately, there were just certain temptations and struggles that kind of he couldn't get over. And as a result, ended his life early, just like Samson. But they still honored him for the life that he lived. And so... that was, I was quite interested to read.
Well, the fact that he was instrumental in the whole Jesus revolution.
And I know on YouTube, I didn't go and watch them, but I saw some person made a video on the real story behind the Jesus revolution. And they had this guy, his picture up. And obviously, yes, I understand that the sin in his life, if you could term it like that, caused controversy. But also, there were a whole lot of people that got saved out of it. And plus, on top of that, we're all human at the end of the day. Yeah. So none of us are perfect. Every single one of us are going to mess up. I'm not now saying it's okay to mess up. I'm not saying...
yeah, let's go mess up, man.
But that's where grace comes in. And I think that's what you were saying about the film was, at first, it looked like everything was super perfect. And then it shows this is humans. Pride steps in. Fear of not being noticed steps in. Normal real day life happens, and bad decisions or wrong decisions, or you think you're doing the right thing, but it actually wasn't the right thing at the time. All of that comes into play, and it was beautiful how they showed how God was in control even through all of it. And on top of that this revolution wasn't stopped by the failing of men, because it wasn't started by men in the first place. So that was, But then back to the actors, right? So there's this guy, Kelsey Grammer. Did you recognize him?
Of course I did.
Why didn't I recognize him?
I've watched a lot of his sitcoms. That's why I know him. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that a lot of the actors were hugely honored to act alongside him. Yeah. I saw he's been in Transformers. He was...
Frasier.
Was he Frasier?
Frasier, Cheers... yeah,
these are the sitcoms.
And he's been, and he was in Transformers. There's a lot of, he's he's a very.
I saw he has a very broad.
I'm sure you'll understand if I say he's a very he's a commercial actor.
Like big name. Yeah.
Usually you see him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Joel Courtney, right? So he played Greg. He
Yeah.
was like sort of the main character. He is the main character.
He is, yeah.
He, as a young boy, was the main actor in Super 8.
Ah.
So this guy has literally worked with like
I
J.J.
was
Abrams.
trying to put my finger on his face.
And I was quite surprised to see him because I
2011.
know he recently acted in, if for those of you who have Netflix and have watched, there's the Kissing Booth 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
He's the best friend of the main character in all of those films.
Well, there you go.
And so I was like, okay, wait, is he Christian or is he just like, I suppose like if you're an actor and you get a job, like
That's
you're not
the
going to
thing
turn
about
it
it,
down.
eh?
He is a Christian. I was watching interviews.
Oh, wow.
So it was him, it was Jonathan, and it was Anna Grace Barlow who plays Kathy. And they're full on Christians. Like they were interviewing and asking them like, what do you advise young people now? Because this film is very out and about like Jesus. It's like, there's nothing like, there's no holding back.
Well, if you missed the name.
Yeah, if you missed the name, then yeah. But like they all spoke about like, you can hear that they're saved, which was so nice to like see this part of the industry, because we don't often see this part of the industry, and it's nice to see this part of the industry thriving. I think that was really cool. And
Exactly.
then there were other actors. One of the cast members is Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Because of the end clip.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, Billy Graham's making it into movies even after his death.
When
That
I
is the
saw
type
that-
of life you want to live, people. That you will be in a film cast accredited with a role in a film when you are dead.
And the great thing is that
Goals.
this film, it's a true story.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, wow, that's great. Like, the shocking thing for me is that we always hear about the hippie revolution.
Yes.
Like the whole hippie stage. And what this film showed me was what was going on during that time, that people were getting saved and it was just awesome.
No, it was awesome. It really was awesome. Definitely would highly recommend you go and watch this film. One of the other thing that really surprised me, although I don't know why it surprised me, but I was like, was Lionsgate is one of the distributors. And I was just like, that is so cool. Because Lionsgate, if you don't know Lionsgate, go watch the beginning of movies, people. And see like how many films Lionsgate has like released. So like that was, and I don't know, I felt like, I don't think this film had it, but like when you watch Christian films, like oftentimes the beginning of it, there's like 15 production companies that were involved. And it's obviously because like they all come together.
And you kind of see the same faces as well.
Yes,
You're
you
like,
see
there's that actor from Courageous.
Yeah.
And there's the guy from, you know.
This one was nice.
And this one wasn't.
No, obviously there was Jonathan Rumi, but he was playing such a different character that like
he had an American accent in this film.
Yes, he had an American accent. Plus on top of that, like at one point you can see he's performing miracles, but he's performing the miracle, if you understand what I'm saying. Like it's all for him, and like and I think he did the role very well from that perspective. Like and then it was all round a very good and inspiring film. One of the things I really loved was there's a whole lot of baptisms that take place within the film, because that's true to the story. In America, there's a beach called Pirates Cove, and at this point in history, they went and did, and still today actually, they perform baptisms there. But do you know that there were extras on set while they were filming the baptism scene that were actually getting baptized? Like actual people
serious?
got baptized. I was like, that is so cool. It's like, well, if we're filming baptisms, we might as well baptize.
Do some
actually
baptisms
baptize.
as well.
So like that was really cool.
I really like how they put a lot of detail into the baptism, how they filmed it. Like, especially when the main character gets baptized.
The experience of it.
It wasn't just in the water out. There was like a like a moment that I was just, it really, it did well. Like, it was an experience.
I also love how they showed, so in the film, and in actual real life, there was a band called Love Song that came out of this whole hippie Jesus Revolution movement. And apparently this band was like one of the first, like, if I could word it, commercial Christian like bands. So in other words, like this band like started the path all the way, opened the way for like all of the Christian music artists that we know today. I mean, Christian music today is actually a very big industry, but like they kind of were like the pioneers of that, and that was really cool too. And I actually went and listened to a couple of their songs, and I liked how I liked how they incorporated their songs into the film. But like it's like proper stuff, man. Like you know how like when you're watching Stranger Things, then you hear like the 80s music,
but it's got that like 70 vibe.
Yeah, it's got like a very, but it's cool because like it's like you're listening to
guitar.
Proper 70s music, but it's like Christian. Yeah, so that's really cool. You can go and search them. They literally called Love Song. Yeah. And then I think this was probably one of my favorite moments in the film from like a humor perspective. So I don't know if you picked it up, Ryan. Did you pick it up, Ryan? Did you pick it up, Ryan?
The what?
So you know Jonathan Rumi plays Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another actor called Paris Patel, and he plays Matthew in The Chosen. And I don't know if you picked up, he had a cameo in this film.
Oh, no.
So when they go
Really?
so Jonathan's character Lonnie, Greg and his girlfriend, they go and they're handing out the pamphlets, and it's before that's before Greg starts making those Jesus comics.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go well. I don't know if you remember, like people are tramping, they're just dropping the pamphlets and like walking. Before it doesn't go well, they approach the guy that plays Matthew and say to him, "Hey man, have you met Jesus?" And then he turns to Jonathan, thinking that Jonathan's name is Jesus, and then says, "Hey, Jesus," and they're like, no, as in like, no, we want to introduce you to Jesus. But that was such a trivia nod to the fact that he plays Jesus in The Chosen, and here's the dude that plays Matthew. I was finished. I was just like,
I wonder if it was unscripted what he said. So it was kind of like a, you know, they did it and then they laughed. They're like, okay, cool, let's put it in. That's pretty funny.
I don't know. I feel like because he had a cameo, like, why would he have been there? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So it was on
I feel like
purpose.
it was like, hey, why don't we get one of the guys from The Chosen to come on, and then like, haha. And which is it was a very clever writing nod. Like I thoroughly enjoyed that. So that was very cool. Talking about The Chosen, do you know season 3 is out? I haven't watched it yet.
I do now.
Shame on me. Should go watch. I know Jesus Walks on Water. I saw them the way they were
CG.
filming. Yeah,
that was brilliant.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh no! As in, I saw behind the scenes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, did you also?
Yeah,
see
they had
behind
those
the
like
scenes?
blue float mats type of things, and the way that they did it.
Yeah, but I haven't seen the actual scene.
No,
so we need to go.
No, I'm also looking forward to that.
Yeah, I need to go watch
coming
season
out.
3.
Yeah. So just some critical responses. The film received a mixed review from critics. On the review aggregator website, Rotten Tomatoes, 50% of 51 critic reviews, so 57%, are positive, with an average rating of 5.9 out of 10, which is, I think it could have been better.
Yeah.
The website's consensus reads, Jesus Revolution fumbles an opportunity to bring fascinating real-life history vibrantly to life, which they did.
They did.
But deserves credit for avoiding the preachiness common to faith-based films.
I agree with that. I actually do agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a very good
That's
review.
what I was saying. In the beginning of the film, like everything's just so super and everyone's just so happy and like, yeah, man, life is like just like super. Like, what do we need heaven for? Because heaven's right here. And you start like, you're like, but this is, and then the problems come in. You're like, okay, there. So there you go. Which obviously brings a good message of persistence and your faith.
Yeah.
Basically, and you know that there are the issues. So even for the guy who played the hippie.
Jonathan, Lonnie.
Yes, Jonathan, Johnny. Even for him, like he just seemed like this really supernaturally cool guy.
Yeah.
And then even in the film, like stuff happens and you're like, ish, you know, type of thing. Which for me was that just there. I was like, okay, now I'm even more hooked because yes, now what's gonna happen? You know, there's this boy, he's battling, and I don't know if you ever came across. Greg? What's his surname?
Laurie,
right?
As in the actual...
The real guy.
Yeah, I did.
So I watched an interview with him and he was explaining, okay, so this is what happened in the movie. You guys know my father, I was adopted, but did I ever meet my father again? And in the actual interview, which you can go look, not now.
Whoa.
All right, let's finish the movie show, guys. But he actually explains in this interview with him that he went and he found his father, and his father's a lawyer.
Oh wow.
And it's a crazy story because instead of, he tracked his father down before Google, so he tracked him down. His father's a lawyer. And he called his father, and then basically he was like, no, he was expecting to just go over for like supper or something like that. But his father said, no, why don't you come and sleep over?
Oh,
Why
wow.
So, and apparently they were sitting around the dinner table, and his mother, his stepmom,
Stepmom, yeah.
stepmom's like, so how did you become a Christian? All of that story. And his father's like sitting there. He looks very critical the way he's sitting there like this around the table. And apparently 2 weeks before them, him phoning, his father had a heart attack, almost died. And his father then asked him that night, just before going to bed, will you take a walk with me in the morning? And then what happened was that he's like, okay, fine. And then the next morning, obviously, he woke up and they went for a walk. And his father said, I want to give my life to Jesus. Because then he explained the whole heart attack 2 weeks ago, etc. He nearly died. He wants to give, and he wants to do it now. He wants to do it right now. So they're in the streets of that side of America, more closer to New York. But there he was on his knees, and he gave his life, everything. And then he even said, son, pray for my heart that Jesus will. And he was like, okay, Dad, okay, we'll pray. I don't know if God's going to heal it right now, but okay. And he's like, no, pray, son, pray about. And then he prayed for him. And then he said, okay, come, my doctor's just down the road. We're going to go now.
Oh, wow.
We're going to go check. He's like, okay, Dad, I don't know, but okay, fine, we can go. And then when he went to the doctor, they ran tests, and his heart was perfectly fine.
That's so cool.
And God really, really healed his father's heart. So that's
insane.
yeah, he kind of gave an after, continuation of
They
his story.
legit could make the sequel.
Yeah, there you go. There's an idea.
There's an idea.
We need to find the director. We need to give him an idea.
John?
Yes.
Yeah. Will you please do the sequel? Thanks.
We got a great
Bye.
story. You'll love it. Get a pen and paper right now.
Yeah. No, but it really was a good film. It was a very inspiring film.
Yeah.
There were a lot of moments where you're like, oh, that's deep.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and it makes you think what am I doing with my life, man? What's wrong with me? It gives you that vibe.
I'd love to know the effects of that, because whenever the boy was on drugs, they had that lens distortion. They did that so
oh my goodness,
absolutely well.
And when when Kathy's sister is like,
yeah,
I was just like, this chick's gonna die.
But that's what I'm saying.
And then afterwards they were all just like, oh, I'm fine, guys.
They could have filmed that like in a normal way, a normal dramatic way. Obviously, bring in the music, whatever, have the club. But there was something that, like even me sitting there, I was like, I feel like I'm on drugs watching this. The way that it felt.
Yeah.
So big applause to the cinematography there.
And you know what was insane was even how they showed the spirit of death that comes upon people, especially when taking drugs. That was insane. When he's walking in the rain and he looks in the window of the car, and then I was just like, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That is exactly what happens.
I don't want to die. Don't worry, you're here. I don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
I think I'm dying. You're not dying. You're here. It's fine.
But
I'm gonna wait you.
That was really. I thought that was really cool how they showed that, because I think that's also very true to life. But then they showed it in such a such a visual way, and it wasn't like this demon coming out of do you understand? They didn't go into spiritual. They didn't show that. They showed in the physical.
Practically.
This is actually what it looks like. Yes, there is demonic things involved, but we're not going to now get into the whole demonic realm. And so that was really cool.
Big ups for that.
Yeah, no, it was a very good
movie.
film.
Quality
Brilliant film.
It just shows you how a real life film with the variations in life, if you can write a story, a made up story in your head, and try and add in the real life variations, what a great film it is. Because usually it's everything just happens so wonderful and
I must say, I do enjoy watching true life stories.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been disappointed by a true life story.
Only when the ending is good.
Yeah, when the ending is good. Sometimes,
Not like Spider-Man 3.
That wasn't a true life story, right? It wasn't based on a true life.
I'm using it as a reference.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I get what you're saying. But you're like, obviously you're like I'm not talking about like a tragedy or something like that, but but even those stories are very impactful films.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I'll never forget, I haven't watched the film again because it was a very traumatizing film to watch, but it was based on a Muslim woman who got stoned to death because her husband wanted to be with someone else, but he didn't want to be, because in the Muslim religion, you'll bring shame to yourself if you, so he basically lied and said that she was having an affair with this other guy when she wasn't, and they stone her to death. And then the story, and the guy that plays Jesus in The Passion is in that movie. His name, he is in that movie
As well.
Yeah, but that film was
Right.
hectic. I was finished. I went to bed crying. Like the movie was done, and I was like,
Can it end now?
no, that was hectic, man. I didn't realize how brutal stoning was until that film. That it was like a very
don't
good
want to
representation
imagine it.
of. Yeah, no, it was hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually watched another true life story. This was a true life story week for me. It's a movie called 12 Strong with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
And it's based on 12 soldiers who, after the 9/11 attack, were sent into Afghanistan to take down the Taliban, and how they did it. What should have taken like 6 years, they did in 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
On horseback. They were riding horses.
Why were they on horseback?
Against tanks. Because I don't know. Because
Wait, this looks like a good film.
it's a very good. It actually. Is
I mean,
a very
this sounds
good
like a
film.
good film.
It was a very good film. It really was a good film, and it's also a true life story. So you like you get to there and you see the guys. Then they give you all the information. Like, wow, people are awesome. So
12 what?
12 strong. 12 strong. 12 strong men. 12 strong. I think it was called 12 strong. Just search Chris Hemsworth, and when you see 12 and strong,
How recent is it?
I don't know. It's a very good question.
Should we do it?
It's a very good film, though. And Chris Hemsworth, he's proper, man.
Chris Hemsworth lately has this
2018 action
Afghani-
drama. Oh, and the guy from
Afghanistan.
Ant-Man, you know so I knew this guy who told this other guy,
Oh.
that guy's in it, but he's not like that
Oh.
at all. He's like completely different.
Well, that's going to be great.
Yeah, it was cool.
We should consider watching that.
12 Strong.
Oh, and it's on Netflix,
It
by
is
the
on
way.
Netflix film, 12 Strong. Yeah. But anyway,
Wow.
back to Jesus Revolution.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to mention that I think Chris Hemsworth's actual wife plays his wife in the film.
Yeah. Want to see
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth. Chris's wife.
Wife.
Yeah.
Go watch the film. Yeah. But back to Jesus Revolution. Brilliant film. Definitely go and watch it.
You have to go watch it.
Yes, very good.
It's
Very,
well
very
worth
good.
it.
Yeah. Until next week. This has been the movie show.
On your favorite RSPS?
Peace.
Never get tired. Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Hey, I was gonna like.
This has never been more at the end of a movie show than it will right now, people.
I was gonna have my hair out here coming,
Yeah,
but
you should have run.
I shaved a bit.
But it's cold, so yeah. But anyway, back to peace.
Peace.